Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's HBCU Game Day. We are checking in once again with the other half now of the pregame show. When Charles Bishop was on, I kind of casually said it, Neely. I said the pregame. It was like the pregame show. So I can never make that mistake again. The pregame show. It's Neely. What's up, man?
I cannot complain, brother. How are you doing over there in ATL, Atlanta, GA?
Ooh, hot. Look, it's no longer cool to call it Hotlanta, but it was hot the last couple of days for sure. Hey, it's been hot your way.
Same thing here in Mississippi. Let me tell you this, Tolly. A turf field by Walmart in the NFL does not make anything cooler. It looks cooler, but man, it's hot out there on that field.
Yeah, I know it, man. That reflection doesn't help. Hey, let's jump right into it, man. Just start naming names for me, Neely. Since you've been covering Jackson State in the last 11 months, I think we're under the Coach Prime era. Just start naming some names of name brand current or former NFL players that you have seen on campus or, a really interactive Zoom, just guys you've seen engaged with the Jackson State program.
Oh, wow. First up, Troy Aikman. He attended Coach Prime's first game, February 21st, here in Jackson. There have been Zoom meetings with Jason Garrett, who was quarterback of the Cowboys and head coach of the Cowboys. But you can't even forget entertainment value like Gillian Wallow and the massive podcast following they have. They attended games. Oh, man, coaches from Alabama. There's been Nick Saban sightings on Zooms and meetings and even commercial shoots. But here recently, before Tom Brady got his additional ring, was a 5-time Super Bowl champion making his visit here to Jackson State University.
There it is, that number 5. We got there. Look, there's been a whole lot of people. Charles Haley, most recently on campus. I just think it's really cool that the kids at Jackson State are able to tap into these resources and get this knowledge and having people pour into them, not only as men, but as football players. But when Charles Haley pours into you, Neely, it's a little different pour, right?
Yeah, it comes in a 50-gallon drum of pour, I pour out maybe a 16-ounce glass, but Charles Haley comes with the oil drum, and he poured it in, man. He does not hold back or mince words. He's one of those guys where you mic up, you got to have your beeper ready because there's no telling what's going to come flying out of his mouth. But I will tell you this, there is no doubt that you can question his sincerity. You cannot question his knowledge and know-how and his caring. He was really hands-on. Even sat in the film room with him when he worked with the defensive coaches to go over the plays that day. And he was very vocal, animated, offering criticisms and also offering encouragement.
Look, I watched the video that you guys put up with the pregame show and Jackson State. Their social media had it up as well. I don't know if this was the first thing he said, but the first thing I heard him say was, "You know what pisses me off about you guys?" I was like, Charles, you just met these guys. they already ticked you off. And he was talking about them not chasing the ball and just watching. He was down to the detail about, look, you cannot take a second off on that field. You've got to be all in every single play, every single second.
Certainly, he drove the same message to the coaches as well. He truly does not pull punches just because he's talking to a 50-year-old coach or a 19-year-old player. He is the same Charles Haley. He got in the night before and spoke to the team in their group session, closing out the evening, and then was with them the next day on the practice field all day. He was out there in the Jackson State shirt and sweating up a storm. Then he met with the coaches after that to review film for practice. And in all those instances, he was indeed Charles Haley. And you're right, Tolly, it's good to see these young people to meet somebody from a previous generation of athleticism in the NFL at the highest level. 5-time Super Bowl champion, 5-time Pro Bowls, College Football Hall of Fame, Pro Football Hall of Fame, and still takes time out to mentor and pour into not only players, but coaches as well. And man, it would be a tremendous boom if we could really just air everything he said, but the censors wouldn't allow it because Charles Haley is going to be Charles Haley.
I'll put it to you this way. If you are prone to clutching your pearls, that was not a great day to be a fly on the wall at the Jackson State practice. You would have had a lot of pearls to clutch that day. Neely, what was the players' reaction? Did you kind of hear any chatter or coaches, kind of after? Because, look, when a 5-time Super Bowl champ, I don't mean just a guy who was on the team. I mean a contributing defensive player of the year 5-time champion. Whatever he says, man, you got to take it.
Yeah, Charles Haley, much like Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, is one of those guys who may have played football 25 years ago, but their reputation is still alive and well with young players. People know you can be a teenager today and you know about Deion Sanders and his accomplishments on the football field. You can be a teenager today and you know about Charles Haley and his accomplishments on the football field. So the players were excited and eager, particularly on the defensive side of the ball, particularly defensive linemen and linebackers were excited to be around him and get advice from him and get a foot up their butt from him. They took it well and took it in stride. And I'll even say this to you, that the next day's practice had an uptick in energy. And I think you can attribute it to the words of Charles Haley, because he left there saying, I don't want to come back here and see this. You can fill in the word there. So he was very encouraging and very motivating. And the coaches and the players, they know, hey, this is just Charles being Charles, and this is tough love from him. And this is how he's going to bring it. So I thought they received it very well and were very happy to have a head coach in Deion Sanders that has the kind of relationships where people will come and help out like that.
Yeah, I think that's understated. Look, there's a lot of people who play professional sports that don't have good relationships with teammates because they weren't good teammates themselves. But, man, the people that have come through there in Jackson, with football camps and practice, it's really been outstanding. And, again, it's been great for the kids, which is the thing that means the most to me for all HBCUs. All right, so you got a scrimmage on Saturday. Saturday. Are we under the lights? What's the schedule there for the scrimmage?
We'll probably be done before it gets dark. We're going to start at 6 p.m. on campus. That field does have lights right there at 1400 Lynch Street, but I think the plan is to be in and out of there before they need to come on. This is just a tough time of the year to find a cool part of the day. And 6 p.m. is about the coolest you can get. But it's going to be full pass, full scrimmage. And I think the guys are ready for it. I think the coaches are ready for it. This is that time of camp where you're done with that conditioning phase, and every other day or so you get to put on the shoulder pads and do just a little bit of thumping and thudding, as they call it, but no full tackling. And it starts to get chippy out there. The adrenaline starts flowing, and oh man, I wish I was in pads and I'll show you something. Well, Saturday is going to be a full pad scrimmage, and I think Coach Prime's plan is to get one more like that in before they depart for Miami in that Orange Blossom Classic.
What will you be looking for? You're going to provide analysis throughout the year of the team, relaying information to us and the audience. As you start to get a sense for, because look, the depth chart has been very fluid. It's hard to say, for a lot of positions, who the man is going to be for week one. What are some things that you'll be focused on during the scrimmage, Neely?
Just looking for those folks who are going to emerge. Coach Prime went around the coach's room the other day, and he asked each unit coach, if we were leaving for Miami tomorrow, who would be your guy? And you heard some names like Keontae Hampton or Aubrey Miller, but a lot of those position coaches said, hey, we're not there yet. We're still trying to identify. So I think in this scrimmage tomorrow is that people are going to pick up the pace and try to make sure they get on that plane and get a starting role in that Orange Blossom Classic.
We always hear defense is ahead of the offense, especially at the beginning of camp. Do you think we'll see that over the weekend with the scrimmage?
Oh, there's no doubt. The defense always picks things up faster than the offense does. And now that they really get to play, because the offensive line, has been trying to do their best without pads, and the defensive, always adjusting, learning fast. So I think you're going to see Shiloh Sanders, who's been impressive, is going to be excited to have full pads on. I think you're going to see those linebackers and defensive ends, although they have been instructed nobody touches the quarterback or the kickers. They're going to get as close as they can without laying a hand on them.
We've heard a lot about the receivers. Of course, we know Shedeur is going to be the man at quarterback. Who's going to run the ball? Who's the candidates in the backfield?
Santi, he coach calls him 38 special. He wears number 38. I think he's going to indeed, be one of the SWAC's leading rushers this year. He's capable of some big runs, and he truly has a much improved offensive line in front of him. This O-line has talent and depth this time around. It's a totally different O-line from the spring that through injuries and people leaving the program never had one unit playing multiple games together. Now this O-line is about 3 complete lines deep, and there's not a lot of drop-off between 1 to 2 and 2 to 3. So I think the running game is going to be special. I think the pass protection is going to be special. And Saturday night on 1400 Lynch Street, campus of Jackson State, we're going to get to see it in action in full pass for this first scrimmage.
All right, so when you said that about the offensive line, I know a lot of Jackson State fans are like, whoo, because that was a rough go in the spring, getting some protection on the quarterbacks that they had playing then. So with your eyes, what you're seeing, you feel pretty confident about the offensive line?
I do, but it just does not start there, nor does it stop there. I really think, Solly, and I'm not being a homer when I say this, I'm being a critical sports analyst out there in that heat watching them practice. We don't have a unit, we don't have a position that is not tremendously upgraded from the spring. Now what the challenge is get that to come together as a team and for it to show up on game day. But from position to position, from unit to unit, we are upgraded. We're upgraded at the defensive line. We're upgraded the offensive line, upgraded the quarterback, upgraded the receivers in the secondary. Can they come together and play as a team by September 5th and be better than their opponent? That's the next hurdle. But every position is an improvement.
Okay. You've gone on record saying it. Charles Bishop said it last week. I put him on the spot. I said, do you like what you see, or are you afraid about anything, anyone that left? Charles said, I feel good. You said you feel good, so we're gonna take it at that. But the big question, and you put a question mark on it as well, individual talent is one thing, playing together as a team is a whole different thing. And I think Jackson State is the hardest team to predict because it's, look, everything is kind of new because, of COVID and the spring was a shortened season, but I mean, Jackson State is even new compared to what new was just a couple of months ago. So I think it's the hardest prediction, but probably the one that most eyes will be watching when the season gets underway. Neely, parting shot from you as you get ready for a big weekend in that scrimmage.
Well, 2 parting shots. Today is the JSU Day of Giving, where we're encouraging all alumni, supporters, and just fans in the HBCU space to make contributions to JSU on Friday, August 13th. Also, coming up on August 29th, Coach Prime is rolling out that self-titled docu-series, Coach Prime. So that's coming out leading into the Orange Blossom Classic down in Miami. And like you said, Tolly, this is a new team that nobody has seen. There's no film on it from past seasons. We're going to all get to witness it on September 5th against FAMU.
It's going to be exciting. We're going to be there live, not carrying the game live, but pregame live, and it's going to be a lot of excitement. Do you notice, Neely, how that FAMU, and that JSU, that FAMU, and they keep getting closer each week. JSU was over here. I'm looking backwards. They were over here last week. They're getting a little closer to the Rattlers, man. It's just going to be competition everywhere.
I've noticed, but I noticed that the JSU is a mainstay on the shelf. Yeah, that helmet is a mainstay on the shelf. That banner, that pennant changes often. So as long as you keep that helmet over.
Thank you. You just ignited the comment section right now. I probably get accused of. I've never even been to Jackson State, Neely. They say that I'm just all in. I just give the people what they comment about. Look, if 500 people didn't comment on Jackson State, we talk about something else. But I don't know. What do I know about business? I'm a sociology major.
Hey, something that you have often said, we have got to give the people what they want, and the people want Jackson State and Deion Sanders. So let's feed them.
Look, either they love it or they hate it. To me, I don't care. Just keep talking about it. We'll keep giving it to you. That's my stance on it. I bleed red for Winston. I'm a D2 guy. I went to Winston-Salem State. What do I know? Neely, thanks a lot, man. It's always great. Hung out with Charles last week. We might have took a shot or two at you, but it's only
I heard.
we kid because we care. So we'll pick on Charles from here on out. All right, man. But have a good weekend. We look forward to talking to you maybe Sunday, and you can give us the skinny on how the scrimmage went down.
You can count on it, brother. Always a pleasure to be here on HBCU Game Day.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later. You guys out there, thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you soon.